That we are.
Welcome everyone. I'm Joe.
I'm Ashley.
Together we're Geek to My Nerd. And I've been streaming a little bit, but tonight we're streaming together.
Yep.
A little Ace Attorney. We should turn the game music down.
Alrighty.
Hold down the... Actually, go to options. Let's see if that... We can do it there. Yep. One should be low enough.
Yeah.
Because we don't want it off all the way.
Yeah.
Here's to hoping people can hear us over...
Yeah, should I turn the sound effects down too?
I would.
Same level?
Yeah.
And then we'll do full auto skip in case we lose. That way we can skip through.
Yep.
And then text box.
Just the transparency.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it the way it was, and we want it to be in English.
Yep. I don't think you want credits. So yeah. Hit circle to go back.
Alright. So yeah, I was introduced to this game about 10 years ago-ish, maybe 12.
I believe I was introduced to this game roughly the same time.
Yeah, because it was after we got married.
It was. Not very long after we got married.
And our roommate, Luke, was the one that introduced it to us, because he had all the games.
It didn't take you very long to get like through these 3 games and then into the Apollo Justice series.
Yeah, because I want to say all of them were out.
Yeah.
Yeah, including Apollo Justice.
I think that was like right around the time Apollo Justice was coming out around the time that you got started into these games.
Yeah, and then the last one I played was the Edgeworth game.
The Investigations one or whatever.
Yes, I played it in Japanese poorly.
Welcome, Cal. Thank you for joining us, good sir. Cal over at Kingslayer Network.
Then I played the English one, and they never released the second Edgeworth game in America.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting. I think I tried to play the first one, and I got through the first case, which is the demo case. The introduction case.
Yeah.
But I didn't get much further than that. Yeah. These are definitely more your games than mine.
Yeah, and these games are pretty fun. There's different phases, so there's like court phases and investigation phases. In the trial that we're going to play in case 1, it starts off in the court phase. If I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I played these, and they were originally released in Japan on the Game Boy Advance, and then in America they came on the DS, and there was like an extra case, but I don't think this game has the extra case for the first game.
I don't think so.
But yeah, they're very fun. You know, there's a lot of heavy reading. It's more of like a visual novel type of game versus, action adventure, that kind of stuff. But I say we go ahead and get started.
Sounds good.
Alright, new game. Play this game. Yes. Episode 1, the first turnabout.
Which is fair play. Alright, let's do it.
Alright, play the first turnabout, yes. Oh, sweet. We got a trophy just for starting the game.
That's a little depressing.
Gasp. Gasp. So you get like a little preview of the murder.
I think we really land super...
Darn it! Why me?
Into these games because...
I can't get caught, not like this.
Because of our love of shows like Matlock.
I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him.
Something does smell.
I'll make it look like he did it. I can't remember if all the other cases just like blatantly tell you who the killer is. But clearly this is like a tutorial case. So it's August 3rd at 9:47 a.m. at the District Court Defendant Lobby number 2.
Stay safe, Cal. Yeah, tornadoes are no joke. We don't get them often around here, but we will get them.
Yeah. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Woo, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. This says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. She should be a little more weird looking, like right here, like worried. Cause this is not good. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, oh! I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished! I can't live in a world without her. I can't. He's just like Romeo.
A little bit.
Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Aw, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright, which I should have said 8 seconds ago. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one.
I bet you're wondering how I got into this mess.
A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school.
Oof.
Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. So yeah, there's a lot of puns and such in this game that they had to localize. So I can't remember what Larry's name is in the Japanese version, but it's also very punny like this. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart.
In Japanese, it's Masashi Yahari. I don't know what that means, but Yahari in Japanese means I knew it, or of course. And Masashi, chosen from Mashihiku, I can't pronounce that, which is certainly, like the English, probably chosen specifically for the above-mentioned joke. Like, of course he knew it.
Okay. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. Because he's full of spirit already. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts.
I do like the upgrade that they had for this. That looks like everything is like hand.
Like animated.
Yeah.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. So this is Prosecutor Payne. He's kind of a huge joke in the game.
Seems like this where you gotta find the killer and such. It's similar. I think there's a lot of bleed over between Danganronpa and Phoenix Wright fans.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright. This is your first trial, is it not? Yeah, just tell everybody.
Thanks.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Hand shaking, eyesight fading.
If it was, oh crap, what was that the medical game?
Trauma Center?
Yeah.
Like
Trauma Center was not by the Phoenix Wright people. It was actually by Atlas, the people that do the Persona games and all those games.
The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely.
Assuming Trauma Center was the game you're talking about.
Please state the name of the defendant of this case. It's a reading quiz. No! Alright, the defendant is Larry Butts, so it helps your vocabulary.
I will point out, I really enjoy that everything looks hand-drawn in this version, as opposed to just blowing up the 16-bit sprites or 32-bit sprites from the
defendant, well,
older
that's
version.
Larry Butts, Your Honor.
No worries.
Correct.
This game is actually from Capcom, the company that...
Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine.
That made Mega Man and so many DuckTales and Disney games in the 90s and that kind of thing.
Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me what's the victim's name. Whew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times.
Did you though?
It's Wait. Uh-oh. No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Oh, of course, I know the victim's name. Just forgot temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the R1 button to check it anytime, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case?
Isn't it Cindy Stone?
I want to check the court record. Like the thing says. So yeah, in the court record is your attorney's badge. No one would believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this.
Especially with his,
Cindy's autopsy report. Time of death between 4 and 5 p.m. on July 31st. The cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma.
I think you can even hit R1 here, and it'll open up all the profiles of people involved.
Nice. So, Mia Fey, age 27, chief attorney at Fey & Co., my boss and a very good defense attorney. Larry Butts, age 23, the defendant in this case, a likable guy who has been my friend since grade school. Cindy Stone, age 22, the victim in this case, a model. She lived in an apartment by herself. And Winston Payne, age 52, the prosecutor for this case, lacks presence, generally bad at getting his points across.
Side note, Larry's smile looks impossible. Cindy Stone.
The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me what's the cause of death? She died because she was poisoned, hit with a blunt object, or strangled. She was hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. Shouldn't the prosecutor be saying all this stuff? You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed.
Well, Payne is so, Weasley and nobody cares. No one listens to Payne.
Yeah. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor, because I don't feel relaxed. That's for sure. Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Statue added to the court record. Right. You should have paid attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the R1 button to check the court record frequently. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now?
You check.
Pay attention, you don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case.
Mia looks so done with Phoenix's crap.
Yeah. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready.
She's just like, ugh.
Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad.
I'm now clipping to, was it Samuel Jackson? Yeah, I killed her and I hope she burned.
Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy!
There he goes.
We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, and Cleopatra and Mark Antony.
Oh, Larry.
Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me ever. What did you do anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it, lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Passport added to the court record. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way! The victim was a model but did not have a large income.
Stay safe, man.
It appears that she had several sugar daddies.
Tornadoes and stuff are no joke.
Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Judgy much?
Right?
Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now?
It's expensive
Right.
to live in the city.
I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I wait and see what happens? Stop him from answering. Let's stop him from answering, shall we?
Sounds good.
My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof, wince. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog? I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we?
God, Larry, you're the worst.
I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
Larry.
Oh no, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly? Stop him from answering. I should probably have him answer honestly, because honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill! She wasn't home, man, so I, didn't see her.
Oh my god, Payne's
Your
objection.
Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime.
Ooh, three claps.
Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand.
But Frank saw it. Very over the top.
Yeah. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is that correct?
It's gonna get worse.
Oh, yes. Newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. And the way this character looks, if I remember correctly, he's kind of like a caricature of a really shady person. Especially with the dot on his forehead.
Yeah. Japan. It gets worse.
Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Witness testimony. Witness's account. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there. A woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to the nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there.
I've already spotted one issue in his
Me
testimony.
too. What issue did you spot?
The one I spotted was he said he tried the phone, but he failed to go inside the house.
Yeah.
So how could he try a phone if he didn't go in the house?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's testimony.
No, there's another issue.
Oh.
If you paid attention to the evidence.
Does it have something to do with the fact that it was 1 p.m.?
Yes.
Yeah.
Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Stott used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Blackout record added to the court record. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Oh my god, did you not go to, like, attorney school?
Phoenix, come on.
Law school? Yeah, that's what it's called, law school. Alright, Wright, this is it, the real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why you expose the lies in the testimony the witness just gave? Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the R1 button and point out contradictions in the testimony. Cross-examination. Witness's account. So what we can do is also press for information. So we do this. Let's see.
Presses L1.
Yeah. Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you would take notice of him. I don't know. He just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime. The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture. Of course, what the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So what happened next? I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Let's see. So yeah, each time you press, you get like a unique dialogue.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt you to press anything.
Yeah.
Half open, you say? Yes, the door was open halfway, yes. I watched for a moment, but no one came to close the door. That's odd in a big city like this, I thought. I see, and what happened next? Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. What gave you the idea to do that? Well, the door was half open, you see. Isn't it only human to want to peek? We climb mountains because they're there. It's the same thing.
Is it?
Truer words have never been spoken. Anyone would look inside. Why did pain cut him off so quickly? So you looked in the apartment. What happened then? Are you sure she was dead? Well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all, and there was blood everywhere. Guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well, what happened next? So you didn't touch anything in the apartment? Yes, I mean no, nothing. Okay, what happened next? But yeah, he's acting suspicious.
Yep.
You thought to call the police? Does that mean you didn't actually call them? Please listen to the rest.
Right? His little, like, weird half back and forth, like, twist. So suspicious.
The phone in her apartment wasn't working. Yes, I mean no, it wasn't, right? But you said you didn't go into the apartment, or did you?
Oh, snap.
Oh, that I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on the shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call.
Oh,
and that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next? Why use a public phone? Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone. And being in the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at the nearby apartments. Alright, what time did you call again? 1 p.m., are you certain? Yes, absolutely. He seems really confident. 1 p.m.? Right, doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him. Alright, so then we're going to present evidence that the time of death was between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Yep.
Let's see. Hold on.
Go over to it. Triangle to present.
You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was nobody to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? He's all sweating.
Right.
Oh, that, This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe.
Right.
Mr. Saw It. Why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now.
Do you?
Would you care to give your testimony again? The time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one.
Do you?
You said heard, not saw? Yes, heard. All I saw was the body lying there. I didn't think to look at anything else, least of all my watch. Isn't that a little strange? So you're saying you heard something. But if you're so shocked by the body, you wouldn't hear anything at all.
How could he hear something?
The witness did say he actually heard the time. It's ludicrous to suggest he wouldn't hear anything. I have to agree with the prosecution. Witness, continue your testimony. Are you sure it was a television and not a radio? Well, no, I guess it might have been a radio. Incidentally, there was no radio on the premises. There was only one large television. Right. I can't put my finger on it, but something about this seems fishy. Something about hearing the television.
You have evidence to present.
Yes, the witness has testified he heard the time. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? How do you explain the gap? Well, witness, can you explain this? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. Alright, so we need to go back to he heard it on the TV.
Right? He seems really cheerful for being a witness to a murder.
Okay, so we gotta present some evidence. Let's see, we can present
the blackout record.
The blackout record. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Ah! The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Saw It? No, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! Wait, I remember now.
Oh, jeez.
Mr. Saw It? The court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That and you seem rather distraught.
We have the little, like, warning tests down here so often. I often don't think about it.
My apologies, Your Honor. And it must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Saw It. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Hearing the time.
He's getting sweaty.
Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it.
Master Roshi.
There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. That strikes me as a very suspicious mistake. Yes, I can see how you'd be a little doubtful. I'm really sorry, I only just remembered that table clock. A table clock. A table clock? Was there a clock at the scene? This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. The murder weapon? Yes, the table clock that was used as a weapon. That's what I just said. Did you doze off in the middle of my testimony or something? Something's fishy here. That must have been what I saw. Now, find the contradiction. Alright, so I'm guessing it has to do with table clock.
The murder weapon itself.
Yeah, the murder weapon itself. Alright. Which they say is just a statue. So I'm going to present that. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock, it was the statue. Now how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence? Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Saw It. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submit it as a statue. My apologies. Jeez. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright? It appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in this testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction.
Clearly.
Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went to the apartment, knew the victim.
Went into the apartment at the very least.
Yeah, you're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah, prove it. Prove I went in there.
Oh, holy crap, that wig. The shock knocked it
I'll do
slightly
better
off
than that.
its
I can
head.
prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Saw It. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. The voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock I heard, no, I mean I saw.
Oh, disgusting.
Shut up! I hate you! tell you I saw him? He killed her and he should burn! Burn! Give him death! Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply examine the clock's batteries, ask the neighbors, try sounding the clock. I guess we should try sounding the clock.
Try sounding the clock.
Let's sound the clock now here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. Beep. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25.
Oh, snap! Oh, snap!
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's like, eek. He's right. How am I gonna prove that? Darn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit. I'll come all the way down here to testify and look at what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him.
For real. Someone should check the air conditioner.
Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Psh. Phoenix, you're the greatest...
Not so fast, Mr. Sawit!
Most honest attorney.
Mia, I mean Chief! Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. I don't know why I sounded southern there.
I don't know either.
Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But it doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes. Wait! Maybe I can prove it! You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Her passport.
Sounds good.
The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sawit? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Ooh, burn!
Did he just, like...
fall
Oh
with
my
the
god,
mouth?
wait. Is he an android from the Alien movies?
Order, order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness... he was arrested and he's been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed.
Oh, you're impressed?
I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. I love how there's always, like, confetti. And with that, this court is adjourned.
Is it, though?
It is. It turns out that Frank Saw It was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Saw It let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Saw It grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 2. Whew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over! Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'm dead. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no, I mean, bad, 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 bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever.
Oh my god, Larry.
Larry, she was, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. Oh no, I couldn't.
The most hydrated people, right?
Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present for me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento.
Yeah.
Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick, and she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry.
Larry.
Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? I'm guessing we're supposed to present the statue?
Maybe? That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't be the blackout record of the passport.
No.
And the statue is like set to the wrong time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a statue. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling.
It's pretty heavy, bro.
Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks. And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not gonna pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave me."
Oh, Larry.
I didn't know it then. But that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun dun
dun.
dun!
So that's the end of the first case.
Yes.
We will be doing the next case tomorrow or Friday, somewhere around there.
Or,
I'm listening.
I mean, that case was pretty short. We could end this stream and start up another one right now with the second case, at least part of it.
It's up to you.
I'm good.
All right. We'll be back shortly. We will go ahead and end the stream, if only so we can keep the episodic nature of this going correctly.
Yep.
Be back in a few minutes.
Alrighty.